To keep yourself updated, subscribe to Indigo Learn and click the bell icon and download our app OneFin to start learning on the go.
We've now understood three essential elements of a valid contract as per section 10. What are those? First one was agreement, the second one was free consent, and the third one was capacity of parties to enter into contract. Let's now go back to the text of section 10 and find out what is the other essential element. So all agreements are contracts if they are made by free consent of parties competent to contract for a lawful consideration. So here we have another essential element, and that is there has to be a lawful consideration in a contract which is being made. Now first let's understand what is a consideration. If you remember the example of Kapil and Krishna, Kapil was selling his laptop to Krishna for rupees 20,000. So here Kapil and Krishna, they are entering into a contract for a sale of laptop. Here both the parties are receiving something in return. Krishna is receiving the laptop and Kapil is receiving the money. When we talk about consideration, there is an inflow and outflow happening from both the parties. How is it? In case of Kapil, inflow is of rupees 20,000 which he is receiving, and the outflow here is the laptop which Kapil is giving to Krishna, which Kapil is selling to Krishna. And for Krishna, inflow is the laptop and outflow is the money which he is giving to Kapil. So when we are talking about consideration, it is nothing but something in return for the promise which has been made. There is a Latin maxim for consideration as well, and that is quid pro quo, which means something in return. Consideration is nothing but something in return which is given by both the parties to the contract. And understand there is inflow and outflow happening from both the parties' point of view. There is an inflow and outflow from both the parties which is happening, which means there is some consideration which is involved. If a contract is made without consideration, then that will not be treated as a contract at all. And why is that so? Because we have understood that for a contract to come into existence, there has to be an agreement. But for agreement, very essential element is there has to be some consideration. If there is no consideration, no contract will come into existence. So this is one very essential element of a valid contract, and that is there has to be consideration. And this consideration should be a lawful consideration. Now, why do we say that this consideration has to be a lawful consideration? Let's understand it. When we say that consideration must be lawful, it basically means consideration should not be something which is prohibited by law. Prohibited by law basically means something which is not allowed by law. So if you're entering into a contract with someone and you tell this person that I'll give you 5 lakh rupees if you go and kill some third person. Now in this situation, the contract which you are making is for killing a particular person. The objective, the consideration here is not a legal consideration. It is not lawful. You do not have any right to kill anyone. So it is very important that the consideration which is the part of the contract should be a lawful consideration. It should be legal. It should not be something which is prohibited by law. And also consideration is nothing but the value which is received for the performance of the promise. And understand, it is not necessary that consideration always has to be in monetary terms. In a contract which is made, it is not necessary that consideration is always monetary, but it is something in return, something of value which is received in return for performance of the promise. Consideration is something in return, which is a valuable consideration which is received for the performance of the promise. Now say, let's take an example and you tell me whether there is some consideration involved in it or not. Now, on your parents gift you a new iPhone 12. Now here in this situation, you are getting something. You are getting a new iPhone 12. But are you giving anything to your parents? You're not giving anything to your parents. It is a gift which you have received. So when you're receiving a gift, is there a consideration which you are giving your parents for the gift? There's no consideration involved here. As a result of which, there's no contract also which is coming into exist in this situation. Let's take another example. Now say you give your notes to your friend because your friend has missed upon many lectures and has not completed his notes. So you, for helping your friend, give your notes to your friend. Now in this situation again, is there some consideration involved? Okay, your friend is receiving the notes and that will become a consideration for him. But are you receiving something in return? You're not receiving something in return. It is just a helpful hand which you are lending to your friend. So there is no consideration involved here as well. So understand that consideration in a contract is the value for the performance of the promise. And both the parties in the contract do receive something in return. There is consideration from both parties' point of view. Because if you remember, when we were doing the definition of agreement, there we have understood that it is a promise or set of promises forming consideration for each other. So one person's promise forms consideration for the other person and the other person's promise forms the consideration for the first person. Just like in case of Kapil and Krishna. Kapil's promise to sell his laptop was consideration for Krishna and Krishna's promise to pay 20,000 rupees to Kapil was consideration for Kapil. So every contract which is made should have consideration and this consideration must be a lawful consideration. Now let's go back to the text of section 10 and look at what is the other essential element. So what does section 10 say? All agreements are contracts if they are made by free consent of parties competent to contract for a lawful consideration and with a lawful object. So here we get our next essential element and that is lawful object. So what do we mean by lawful object? Object is basically the purpose with which the contract has been made. The main objective or rather the subject matter of the contract. So whenever a contract is being made, the purpose with which the contract is made should be a lawful purpose or rather the objective of the contract should be a legal objective or a lawful objective. Let's understand this with help of examples. Now say the government has mandated that if you want to sell liquor, you will have to obtain license. So government has made it mandatory that if you want to sell liquor, you will first have to obtain license. But Mr. Rahul is selling liquor without obtaining any license from the government. Now in this situation, here Mr. Rahul is doing something which is not lawful. It is prohibited by law. Law allows you to sell liquor only if you have a valid license, and if you do not have a valid license, you cannot sell liquor. So here Rahul's business is not a lawful business. And why is that so? And whatever sale Rahul is making will also not be lawful. Now say Rahul is entering into a contract with a restaurant that he is going to supply them with liquors. But here Rahul's business itself is not legal because he has not obtained license. And because there is no license, the contract which Rahul enters into will not be a lawful contract. So we say that the object is unlawful when it is prohibited by law or when it is forbidden by law. law does not allow you to do certain things, and if you enter into a contract to do such things, then the contract will not be a valid contract. Let's take another example and understand this. Now say there are two people, Ram and Shyam. Ram runs a grocery store in one particular area. So Ram, the only grocery store in that area is of Mr. Ram. As a result of which, all the people who reside in that area go to Mr. Ram for purchasing their daily requirements. Now, in the same area, another person, Mr. Shyam, is setting up a big grocery store. Now Ram thinks that if Shyam opens his shop in this area, then I will lose out my customers. And Ram does not want to lose out his customers. So what Ram does is, he goes to Shyam and tells him, I will pay you 50 lakh rupees, but you will not carry on your business here. So Ram here, he is restricting Shyam from carrying on a particular business. Now, as a normal person, you have a right to carry on your business anywhere at any place. But Ram wants to maintain his monopoly, and for that he wants Shyam to shut down his business. He wants Shyam to not set up his business in the same area. Now in this situation, say if Shyam agrees, okay fine, you pay me 50 lakhs and I'll not set up my shop here. Though the contract is made between them, though Shyam has agreed to whatever Ram is saying, the contract which is made between them is not with a lawful objective. The objective here is restricting someone from carrying on a lawful business. And you do not have a right of restricting someone from carrying on a lawful business. So again here, the object with which the contract is made is not a lawful object, as a result of which the contract will not be a valid contract. Let's take another example and understand this. Now say an agreement is being made between Ramesh and Suresh that Ramesh will sell some goods to Suresh and Suresh will smuggle them outside India. So basically here the agreement which is made with an intention of smuggling the goods. Again in this situation, the object with which the contract is made is not a lawful object. Smuggling is not a legal activity. It is not allowed by law. And since the object of the contract is not lawful, the contract will not be a valid contract. So it is very important that the object with which the contract is made is a lawful object. It should be something which is allowed by law. It should not be prohibited by law or forbidden by law or an agreement which is opposed to public policy. No such a contract should not be made with any such objective. If a contract is made with any such objective, then the contract will not be a valid contract. So what are the essential elements which we've seen till now? The first one was agreement, then free consent, then capacity of parties to enter into contract, lawful consideration, lawful object, and now let's look at the other essential. Let's look at the last essential element. So for that, what do we have to do? We have to go back to the text of section 10.